Ever wondered why the bouncing ball is so important to start out with animation? Well, in today's video I'm going to show you exactly why, so stay tuned. Hey guys, my name is Eon and welcome to my Start Animating YouTube channel. The channel that is specifically aimed at everyone that is new to animation. And if that is you, welcome, you are at the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also click on that little notification bell so that you can get notified every week when I upload a brand new video. And if you are really brand new to animation or you want to start and you have no idea where to begin, well, I've got some great news for you. I've got some free video training for you. There's a link in the description box below. Just click there, register, and you can go and take that free video training. It is absolutely free, and the amazing thing is with this training is even if you've never animated before, even if you have no knowledge about animation, by the end of the video you would have created your very first animation because you will work alongside with me, and that for me is so important. You'll learn the basics of animation and you will be able to continue further on, so you'll have that basic knowledge, and the good thing is you would have finished your first animation. So go and sign up. It is perfect for everyone who wants to start out with animation. Now today we are going to look at one of the basics of animation. When you start out, one thing that is extremely important is the bouncing ball. It is something that really helps you. It's one of the first things that you will learn as a new animator. But today I'm not going to show you how to do the bouncing ball. I'm just going to show you why it is so important and what you will learn. And so that is the basis of this video. So I'm not going to show you how to create the perfect bouncing ball. That may be a video at a later stage, but I want to show you why it is so important for you to practice the bouncing ball as much as you can, because it really helps you in other aspects of animation as well. And that is the purpose of this video. This video is not to create the perfect bouncing ball. It is only to show you what you will learn and why it is so important to practice the bouncing ball as much as you can, because it will help you with so many different other areas of animation. So in front of me we've got this ball, and we're gonna make it bounce. Now I'm not gonna go through the whole process where it bounces from beginning to end. I'm maybe just going to do like one bounce, but with that I'm going to show you everything that you will learn. And basically with the one bounce you will go and duplicate it. So for instance, if I click here, so it will have the one bounce and then it will go up. Now obviously it will continue, the bounces will get smaller, and at the end it will just roll. So that is your basic your basic bouncing ball, how it will operate. We're not going to do that. We're only going to do maybe the one bounce, and that is what we're going to do today. But by doing this one bounce, you will see a lot of different things that I will incorporate, especially when it comes to your 12 principles of animation, and you will see why this exercise is so important, especially when you are new to animation. So let's start. Okay, now the first thing, if you remember last week's video when it comes to keyframe animation, and I will put a link right up here, so if you want to go check it out, one thing that we covered in that video was the more keyframes object uses to move, the slower it will move, and the lesser the keyframes, the faster it moves. So now remember, when it comes to animation, you will always have to consider science. So in this case, there will be the ball will gain momentum as it drops because of gravity. So it will start off slow and it will go faster. So for instance, if I'm gonna, let's move it down. Okay, we've got the starting point, so let's say it needs to move to frame 20 and we drop it. So now it is going to take 20 frames to move from point A to point B. So as you can see, there you go. Okay, so that is the first thing. But now, as you remember, with gravity, the ball will gain momentum as it drops, so it will go much faster as it drops. So let's say in the middle point, it will be maybe there. Why? Because now this space is a lot longer, so it takes up the same amount of keyframes to move faster. So actually it uses less keyframes, because if I go to the center, if I go where the ball is in the center, right about there, you'll see it uses up less keyframes than the second half. Okay, so that means the ball will move so much faster in the beginning. So if I press play, you see the first part it goes fast, and then the second part it goes slow, but you can see it doesn't go smoothly. So now obviously again we do the same thing. So we put it in the middle, and because it's gaining momentum, and here now it will move a lot faster. Let's have a look now. It's a bit better, but it's not 100% how I want it to be, so let's make more adjustments. So now you can see one of the things that you're going to work on is your keyframe animation. So now obviously you want to make sure that this gains gradually momentum as it goes. So as you can see, that is the one thing that you need to work on. Okay, and that is still not looking right, so I can move this keyframes, and that's a little bit better, but let's just adjust it a little bit. It's still not perfect. That looks much better. So now you can see it is actually a bit too fast. So the next thing is now we need to get our timing right. So we've got where it gains nice momentum, but it is too fast. So let's move it up a little bit. So we try to get our timing much better. Let's have a look now. Now that is way too slow. So let's adjust that again. I think at the end of the day, that's not 100%. Let's have a look now. That's much better. So now you can see what I did was I had to work on my timing, and that is the one principle of animation that you need to master, timing. And what I will do is I will also put a link here of the whole 12 principles of animation, where I've created a whole playlist. So there's 12 videos there, so you can go check it out and learn more about all the principles of animation. So the first one that we've learned now is your timing. So if you work on your bouncing ball, the one thing that you will learn is timing. The next thing that you will also learn is arc. That is another principle of animation. And so basically what that is, when you do the bouncing ball, it will basically bounce like that. Okay, but now I've only done straight down. So now obviously I want to create that arc. Okay, so basically what I do is let's create that arc. Now luckily for us, we've got these lines. Okay, so all that I am doing is I am moving these X points so that it will end up creating a little bit of an arc. Okay, let's go to the next keyframe and let's move that as well, and the next keyframe as well, but that doesn't quite look the way I want it, so let's adjust it a little bit more. That looks much better. Okay, so now you can see it moves with an arc, but you can see it is a little bit, it's not smooth. So what I can do is I can now go in between and just round off those little, just to round it off a little bit. As you can see, like I did there, this one doesn't look so good. Let's look at it again. Little bit better, but there's one that's a bit out of place. I think it's this one, and let's move him into place. Now you can see it does have a little bit of an arc, but it's not perfect, so let's just adjust it a little bit more to make sure we've got a much smoother arc that the ball will fall, and I think it is starting to look much better. Let's have a look. That's much better, but it's not 100% perfect, so I think this one needs to move a little bit in, and I think this one as well, just a little bit, not much. That's much better. So now we've got our arc. It is the second principle of animation. Now, another thing that you need to do is obviously squash and stretch. So as the ball moves, when it reaches its fastest point, it needs to be at its longest, and then when it bounces, it needs to squash in. Okay, so how do we do that? Obviously, we're gonna use, we're gonna deform it. So let's go and move. Where will the object, the ball, start to move? I think probably from there. So let's go from there. And here is the transform. We want to deform it here. Okay, so now what we can do is we can now deform this ball a little bit so that it stretches a little bit. Okay, so if there you can see at its fastest point you want it to be at its tallest, so let's do that, but you also want to rotate it a little bit. And then when it, right here, we can rotate it more. And then here, it will squash. Okay, so now we want to bring this in, but we want to bring this out. So now if we press play, it squashes, and then obviously when it bounces, exactly the opposite. So now it will jump, it will bounce fast, and because of gravity it will move slower, and at the bottom, at this fastest point, you will stretch it out, you'll create your arc as well. So basically this is how you do your bouncing ball. Now this is not perfect. I think you need to make it a bit slower. It is too much, it's stretched too much because the ball moves too fast. So you can obviously see if I press play, it is squashed or stretch too much for the speed the ball is moving. So you can see how you need to adjust everything to get this perfect, and why to do the bouncing ball exercise is so crucial and important. So now you can see why you need to exercise the bouncing ball, because you will work with your keyframe animation. You will get that right, how to do your keyframe animation. You will get your timing, which is one of the 12 principles of animation. So timing, you will do the arc, so you'll know exactly how the ball needs to bounce. You need to create the path the ball will bounce, which is an arc. So you'll do another principle of animation. And then obviously squash and stretch, you'll do that as well. So everything, there's so much that you can learn and improve by just doing the bouncing ball. So I highly encourage all of you to go and do this exercise once a week to get this bouncing ball perfect, so that you practice all these principles in, and this is something that will really help you with your other animation, with characters moving, with the walking cycle. That is another thing that you will need to get your arcs right, your timing, your keyframe animation. All of that is also something that will help you with your walking cycle. So the bouncing ball is very crucial, and I highly recommend you guys do this exercise as much as you can, especially when you are new to animation. So guys, that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what are the areas that you want to improve on with your animation. What are the areas that you are struggling with? Let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to hear from you. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click on that little notification bell so that you can get notified every week when I upload a brand new video. So from me till next week, I will see you. God bless and happy animating.